Hey everyone, welcome into another Rainmaker podcast. I'm so excited about the guest we have. I've got Amanda Lunsford here with me. Yep, she was on The Ultimate Agent, and we're going to get to talk to her about what she's been doing since and how her business has taken off. Let's talk about it. Amanda, hey, you're here. We're here. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you on. I mean, how does it feel to be famous? You know?
I don't know about all that, but I definitely appreciate living on 16 acres in the middle of a mountain after 8%.
Oh my gosh.
I love my peace and my privacy, but yes.
Absolutely. Great. I mean, most people, obviously, you became famous being on the reality show with Cody Askins, Ultimate Agent. That experience was, I watched every episode, and I'm still waiting for, I think, the last episode to come out. I don't even know if we can say who won, quite honestly, because since that episode hasn't come out yet, even though we know.
Oh, no, we could say who won.
Yeah,
it's all over social.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
Man, so, I mean, how does it feel to be in that position, like that after competing with some great folks, by the way? I've had Johnny on, I've had Moon on the show, but what was that experience like for you? Like we were talking before, having cameras in your face, basically, a whole day.
It's a lot for sure, because I'm not one to, go do a lot of live videos on social media. That's my daughters. They're, 19 and 21, so they're more with the videos. But you get used to it for sure.
Man, well, I mean, I'm used to being in front of a camera, but not like in that setting, right? It's like where you're literally under pressure. You're competing. You're going through these crazy challenges, while you're on that. So, and what I'm really interested in, which is a lot, but what has happened for you since that show aired? What's been going on?
A lot of things have been going on. A lot of people don't know, when I entered that contest, it was 2 days after my first major surgery in my whole life.
My gosh.
I thought submitting the video to Cody, we would probably, be in the contest 3 months afterwards. But he lets us know 3 weeks afterwards that we're flying out to Nebraska and going to be competing in home. I had never done in home, so that was new for me.
Now that's interesting. I mean, never doing in home. So you did all telesales then?
100% telesales, wow. Not even Zooms. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, I got licensed October 2020 during the pandemic. So, a lot of all telesales.
You had no choice in the matter what you were going to get good at, which is kind of, we talk to a lot of agents, they've been in 5, 10, 20 years, and, they were used to being told, you got to go in the home, you got to get in the home, you got to get in the home. The pandemic hit, some of those agents aren't around anymore. Right.
Yeah.
And you came in, had to do telesales. What was that experience like, just doing telesales? Because you didn't know anything else. Did you just think that was how it should be done?
Yeah, exactly. Because when I started, there was really no in-home going on at that moment. So, and like I tell my agents on my team, it's like if your clients can hear through the phone if you care. If you focus on building a friend and the rapport, they can tell. And then that's where referrals come into play, because I get a lot of referrals in my business from, my backstory. If I can explain that a little
Please,
bit, I lost unfortunately, I lost my son a few years ago.
Wow.
And then on top of that, I lost my father shortly after, who was my hero. And to see both sides of life insurance, one with, one without, your family needs time to grieve. So that's when life insurance comes into play. And that is exactly why I entered the contest. I wanted to, I love males and females, but I'm a huge advocate for women power, girl power, because I want to show women that life can knock you down. But if you truly focus on 1% better every day, you can come out shining like bright like a diamond again.
Absolutely.
That's my message.
I mean, and you talked about girl power. We heard you say that girl power a couple times in the show. I think they edited that in on purpose a lot of times. Yeah, girl power, girl power. But staying on that girl power line. I mean, there were 3 females, I believe, on the show.
Yes.
How did you guys get along during that time? What was it like? Because you were in a pressure cooker with, the females and the males and the competition. But what was that like for you ladies to be in a competition in an industry that is male dominated?
It was actually great. The first night we were in Springfield, Missouri. We all met for dinner, the 3 of us ladies, and we got our ultimate 8% ladies shirts.
Oh,
Patrice
wow.
had a friend make those for us, so that was awesome.
Shout out.
And yes, shout out to Patrice for that. And we got along. I feel like great.
Mm-hmm.
Even after Moon was sadly eliminated, we Patrice and I we would meet up in like my hotel room and do some, like, a lot of people don't understand why we didn't get much sleep because I was only getting 2 hours of sleep a night during the
Oh,
contest.
oh
Yeah.
my.
And I'm in my 40s. We like our, above, we like our sleep. I'm not a young
Oh
buck
yeah.
anymore. So, but they're like, why weren't you getting much sleep? Well, obviously, last filming, we came back to the, our rooms, and if you want to win a contest or anything in life, you've got to game plan for it.
Yeah.
So when we get back to our rooms at midnight, we would be, sorting leads, putting them in this pile. This is a follow up, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So game planning till like 3 a.m. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
I mean, that whole experience, since the show, what have you implemented in your everyday business that is like, no options. This is what I'm doing.
Social media presence for sure.
Okay.
To be honest with you, Earl, before the contest, I'll be completely honest. I didn't really, I would do a waterfall picture here and there, picture of my
Mm,
daughters here and there. But the contest, to get selected, you needed to, share hashtag ultimate agent. So it brought me out of that comfort zone. I
mm-hmm.
used to care what people thought about me when I put something on social media.
A lot of people do.
And exactly. And, the thing is if you're building your business and your brand and your friends, and, I've even had people say to me, they're like, why do you post so much? And I'm like, you know what? I just put it to the side because by my consistent posting on social media, I have grown over, let's see, April 1st. Okay, so just to give you a little background,
Mm,
I started October 2020 at my old IMO and started with Family First Life on in March of 2022.
okay.
Not even a month before the
Yeah.
contest. And so I started building April 1st, but then I was had a lot with the contest going on.
Hmm.
Since April 1st until today, we have hired, I believe, 115 licensed agents.
Oh my gosh.
We have
Oh my gosh.
about,
Hold up. Just let me give this.
yeah, as Johnny said in his interview, boom baby, or
Boom,
whatever he said,
baby.
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Johnny. I love me some Johnny.
Absolutely.
Johnny's a good kid. Johnny's the same age as my oldest daughter, so
Wow.
super super proud of him. But anyway, so since April 1st until today, like I said, 100 plus agents. We've got 20 or 30 in life insurance course. And
Wow.
actually, I just got senior sales manager with Family First Life.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Less than 90 days of building, $132,000 issued as a team. And we're going to hit VP this month with 150,000 issued.
That's crazy. I
So
mean, senior manager, then I mean VP. I know is a big deal. and then you're going to go on to, I know you're going to be trying to hit Hall of Fame, you know.
Well, unless an integrity partner.
And well, let's get to that. Yeah, the integrity
Yeah.
partnership. Look, if you don't know about integrity partnership, you really don't know. With
Amen.
so the growth that you've had is probably completely correlated to you having the exposure on Ultimate Agent. And so now agents know who you are. They've gotten to see your work ethic. They've gotten to see what you were able to do and come out on top, obviously. And so that's driving people to you. Amanda, how are you handling this? This is big. It's not like a little thing.
Well, thankfully, I have an amazing business partner in this business, my husband.
Awesome.
He was my therapist when I was at the contest. There was a couple times I called him in tears.
Meltdown mode.
Meltdown, because to be honest with you, Earl, I had never, as you know, never done in home with insurance, and driving Omaha was a little bigger than I expected.
Wow.
I'm a Midwest girl from central Indiana, so
Okay.
kind of imagined Omaha would be kind of similar to Indianapolis.
Okay.
But it's like 4 times the size of Indianapolis. And driving on those highways, it was a little daunting at first. And I was just like, oh, but so my husband, I remember on like day 3 to day 4, we're big Talladega Night fans.
Okay.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
My husband says, honey, nobody remembers second place. So I'm like, oh, okay. That's the kick in the pants that I needed. So.
Yeah. Man, well, I mean, going through everything that you've gone through, what were some of the things you took away from being on the Ultimate Agent that like you were never doing before? You mentioned social media, but some of the tactics, some of the strategies that you learned while you were there, how was that affecting your own personal production, like writing on your own pen?
Yes, no, I love that. Urgency with the contest made me become so much better with one call closes.
Okay.
I used to do a lot of appointment, like, within 24 to 48 hours after the initial call. Well, obviously you want to win a contest, you got to change things up. So I think if I remember right, on day 3 to day 4, I did 13 one call closes within 2 days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that is definitely changed some things, because the month I came home from the contest, I issued $42,000 and $42,470 on my own pen, and still had time to hire 39 licensed agents that month.
Wow.
And so that's the thing. I think that because I don't really set appointments anymore. I just do one call. I mean, you're going to have people that are driving.
Yeah.
I get that. But for the most part, I try to do the one call closes just because I don't have no shows. My no show factor doesn't even matter anymore.
I mean, why do you feel? Because look, there's an Amanda today that this wasn't Amanda in April, right?
Amen.
And do you look back on that Amanda from April and girl, what were you doing?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I have a phrase for that. That's so true. Belief is powerful. Do you think after winning something like that I'll ever question my belief in myself?
Not at all.
Never again. Never again. That's just gibberish. And I believe one thing I tell one of my favorite parts of having an agency, a team, is I get to be a coach, just like my daddy.
Absolutely.
My daddy was a coach for over 30 plus years. And I've always I used to coach middle school softball. So, I've always been involved in athletics, being an athlete. So I definitely bring them back that belief. I tell my agents, I said, there is no negative self-talk allowed when you're brand new in this business, because I didn't move right away in this business.
You got to say, let's go a little bit deeper on that. What you're talking about right now, because look, here's the thing. As you know, myself and the company I'm with, Arturo Johnson Consulting, we coach and we train agents and do consulting with that. And we get this all the time, and I'm sure you get it too. I call, but they're not answering the phone. I called, but they said, I didn't fill that out. Or that is so frustrating to me. How did you deal with that before, and how do you deal with it now? Though, because those are like the number one things. I got a bad batch of leads. Like, that's a thing. Tell us about your experience and how you crossed over, if I can use that term.
Yeah, no, I believe things changed for me March of 2021. So just barely a year ago. And what changed for me is I started on this challenge for 60 days. And I did 60 dials a day for 5 days. I did it 5 days in a row because I truly believe, and I tell all of my new agents this, focus on the activity and the results will come.
I like that.
100%.
Focus on the activity and the results will come.
Yes, for sure. And 1% better every day is huge because, like I said, October 2020 is when I got licensed. March 2021 is when I caught the belief in myself.
Now,
and if you
mentioned,
don't have it, borrow it from someone else.
Exactly. I mean, you mentioned, back to being on the show. I cannot imagine, or you can tell us, you guys are dialing for a while, right? On the phone. You got these leads, you're dialing these leads. What was Cody and the other coaches that were there? What were they in your ear about? Because a good coach can see frustration, right? Yeah. So what were they in your ear about when you were going through that? No, I'm not interested. Click, whatever. What were they in your ear saying?
Well, a couple times, Nate Offer, Roger Short, they were just like, focus. Like you even saw one of the episodes where I was standing up for the girl power. And, Roger had told me, remember, Amanda, you're in this, I was warned a couple times, hey, or not warned. I was, reminded that, hey, don't forget this is a contest. Why are you trying to help the other contestants? But that comes back to my coaching background.
Yeah.
I want everyone to win in life. I don't care if they win bigger than me, but obviously in a contest, I should look at that different. But mainly just to stay focused. They were in our ear. Urgency. That's where I got better with the one call closes. Nate's like, hey, we don't have time for them to set an appointment. We have to do this now. They obviously want the protection. They could, as we all know in this business, you could be calling them today, set the appointment, they could die overnight and then not have anything.
And that happens.
So it's better.
That does
happen.
It
does. So it was mainly just the urgency of getting people or to the importance of it, doing it right then and there.
What do you think? 2 questions here. Who was your favorite coach on the show, and what was the best advice you think you got? I
probably even with, but I had 3 coaches, but I really, I'll tell you why my 2 favorites, I really love me some Nate Offer.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I love some Nate Offer. It might sound silly, but he's tough love, just like my father. And I almost is morphed the right word.
Okay.
He became my father that moment.
Got you.
Like my dad guides me, I truly believe my son and my dad can see me from above. So I do work my butt off with integrity and character because I truly believe they can see me. And that day, Nate's like, come on, he was like, definitely his high energy can hype you up, and it also can be like, whoo. But I love that. But that's my dad. Earl, to be honest with you, I don't do well with people coddling me. Don't coddle me.
You said that in the show. You literally said, I remember you saying that in the show, and I'm actually the same way. Just tell me. I'd rather just hear it straight, so I can make whatever adjustment I need to make instead of you taking another 5 minutes, trying to protect my feelings, And again,
I agree.
you're in a contest.
exactly. And I actually, my favorite part of the whole reality show is actually I was in tears. Not only was I in tears on
Mm,
the screen, but I was off the screen watching it with my family when Nate said, um, um, she owes it to her father. That
mm,
I can say thanks to her. What he was pretty much saying is I have thick skin,
mm-hmm,
and I do have thick skin. Like exactly.
mm-hmm.
Tell me straight. Let me make the adjustments, and I'll excel faster.
So,
So
what's your biggest takeaway from that experience? What do you think that's been?
one thing I wanted to say real quick.
Yeah,
Love me some Leslie Schofield. I love
yeah.
her. I love her bulldog mentality because that's if anything in this business I probably lack a little bit. I'm almost, you know, Patrice and I used to have this word at the contest. I'm Midwest sweet. I'm almost too sweet. Um, but I do have some bulldog in me when it
Mm-hmm,
comes to protecting or standing up for people I love.
mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, you don't have a problem there. I'll do that in a
I
second.
think
But
they kept playing this one clip with her. I don't know who she was in the car with. It's like, we're writing 6 apps today, or
it
whatever
was
that
me.
number was. That was you. It's like they played that clip so many times, and I just laughed. It was just, I love that
Yep.
clip.
Yeah. Or they kept replaying. They kept the clip because I said um, Dylan had asked, "What did you get from your coaching with Leslie today?" I'm going to bring the bulldog out. They
Yeah.
kept replaying that too. It was me talking about Leslie because she's a bulldog. I love that. But my biggest takeaway, well, first of all, I wanted to also give a shout out to 8% Conference
Oh gosh, yeah.
because I loved 8%. About almost 20 people or 20 agents from my team came with us. My mom, my daughters were there.
I know that made a
Obviously,
huge impact on them when they left there. I know it did.
oh, oh, our team is yesterday all over our group messenger. Every agent on my team was like writing. It was, and as
Wow.
as the leader, it's like you're like they're the mom, and
Yeah.
like my husband walked up on me tearing up, and he's like, what are you tearing up about? And I'm like, oh, I'm so, it's just to see, because I keep telling him focus on
Mm-hmm.
that activity. like like I told him, I'm like 42,000 issued, and I don't do it 100%
That's
from
crazy.
home. Like I tell on people on recruiting calls, I can do this job in China if I want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'd want to. I could get my
Well.
hat, but
Let's say
I always
Buenos
say that.
Aires. Let's
Yeah,
say
there we go.
Cancun, or yeah.
But it's true. I mean, we have one of the best jobs in the world because we can protect families to keep them from going through hardships.
Mm-hmm.
As you saw on episode 6, the main reason I entered this contest and put it in the universe was to help a friend out. And that was
Wow.
huge for me
Yeah.
be- because, you get the rebuttal. Oh, I have life insurance at work. Well, what if you get sick? And then you get laid off, and then now you don't qualify.
But this is why the
Um,
education is so important, because people just don't know. And they've
yep,
been, for lack of a better, sold a bill of goods, or not even sold. It's like just in the atmosphere. I got life insurance at work. I'm good, and
exactly.
just not knowing the rest of it.
Yeah. So my biggest takeaway from the contest, from 8%, everything was, well, it's always mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Mindset's huge. And I had an agent last night call me and kind of down on her luck. And she's like, I see all these agents, throwing up, apps or policies today. I would love to do that. And I said, you know what? You can do that. You need to stay close to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 team huddles a week. We also have our group messenger where you can risk assess. We're all there. We have 100 years of experience within
Mm-hmm.
that messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Utilize it. If you don't stay close to the fire
Yeah.
and then you complain, then you're the only one at fault, because that's the thing. All the tools are there for you to succeed. And
Yeah.
I'm always jumping on Zooms with people to, help them and train them and get them better. So
Yeah.
I'm always accessible, but mindset's everything in this business.
It definitely
Flip
is.
the script.
And it's even, especially your mindset. I know when I first met Cody, he came to Nashville. He came to Charlotte. I live in North Carolina. And this was earlier this year, like back in March or April or somewhere back in there. And, I went to go see him. I'd known him before, but we had never met face to face. So I got to meet him there. And in one of our meetings, I don't even know what you call it. Anyway, there was only a few people in it that we were there. And I told this story about the people that we help and the people that we serve. And it was from this guy, he's no longer alive now, named Sean Stevens. He was all of 3 foot tall. He was in a wheelchair and he was telling a story, and I'm a veteran too in the military, so it resonated with me. He's telling a story about a helicopter, and a boat has sunk, and so the helicopter has to come. Well, how does the pilot decide who to save? It's like, and he asked that question, like, yeah, well, how would you? You've got 50 people in the water all spread out. And the thing is like the way that the helicopter pilot decides who to save, he can't go around to everybody. So he hovers in one spot. And the only people he can help are the people that swim towards him. Those are the people he can help. And when you talk about getting close to the fire, right? It's like, okay, Amanda, you can only help those people that are coming towards you, because all those people that aren't, it's almost like, I'm here, but if you don't come here, you're getting too far away from the fire. And I can't help you.
I love that. I love that. What you just said, you're so true. You got to help yourself too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you as a coach, you trying to go around to all these people and they're not doing the work. They're not on the calls. They're not, all those things that they ought to be doing anyway. Well, how can you help them? And you trying to go help them. Now you're losing the people that actually are wanting to help. Right.
Amen.
And that you can help build them. So, that was great. Now, I'm thinking here.
I did want to say something real
Go
quick before
ahead.
your next thought.
Go ahead.
First, a second, I'm a Carolina just like you. I live in Clemson, South Carolina now. So I love me some. So, and also thank you so much for your service.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. That was probably one of the best times in my life. Quite honestly, going right out of high school into the United States Air Force, one of the best times I ever had in life. Is Joe Miller your upline?
Yes, he is.
Now, little known fact, or maybe big known fact, I used to be in FFL, and Joe was my upline.
Yes, yeah, I just heard that about a week ago.
And
Correct.
Me and Joe talked on Sunday, just catching up. I was sitting out on my front porch, and I get a text from him. Earl, is this still your cell? I'm like, and I see his name because I still have his name in my phone. I'm like, yeah. And we just talked and just caught up. Joe is from my remembrance, a very good upline. And he's one that's going to help you and kick you in the ass if you need it.
Yes.
At the same time. Yeah.
You don't coddle. I like it.
Exactly. Exactly. And shucks, I still have my FFL shirts in the excuse me, in my closet.
And to be honest with you, yes, I love Joe Miller, but it doesn't just trickle down from him. I have Sean Mike. That is huge because he's an athlete just like I am, baseball player, softball player, and we're kind of on the same wavelength on that. Like, I could sit here right now, just texted him back and forth yesterday, and he's quick to reply. He's always like those commercials on the Ultimate Agent show.
Mm-hmm.
I called Sean. I said, because obviously I want to support Cody and 8%.
Yeah.
And I called Sean and I said, hey, would you want to promote? Thankfully, my husband, he's like, hey, you should ask Sean. And so I called Sean and I said, hey, would you want to sponsor the Ultimate Agent a couple commercials? The thing that I love about Sean Mike even better is he called me back within minutes of asking him that. He said, you know what, Amanda, I want to do 2 commercials, but I don't want you to promote FFL. I want you to promote the Lunsford agency. Hello.
Exactly. Sean Mike is one of those no nonsense people. It's like, hey, well, what are you doing? Are you making the calls? You need to go out there and sell some insurance. What are you doing? It's like,
yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. It's the truth. Mm-hmm. It goes back to the focusing on the activity. You're going to have 100 things. I'm an ADD squirrel. I can
Yeah.
get super distracted super quick. And if you are not focusing on the money making activities, then you're not going to succeed in this. You think type in an email or, this stuff, that
Yeah.
stuff can be
Yeah.
done after
Yeah.
dialing hours.
Yeah.
So I
It,
totally agree.
it's a thick, you need, well, you have a thick skin and you need a thick skin to be in this industry because agents live or die on the phone.
Amen.
Flat out. They live or die on the phone. Obviously, you need the leads to be able to dial. So,
Yeah.
no leads, no business. But if you got leads and you're not dialing, you really don't have a business. In that. Has your mindset changed any around the dials that you make?
Oh, 100%.
Mm.
Like in the very beginning, you think you have to know all the script. It's like, but as soon as I get past like that first sentence, like, "Hi, this is Amanda Lunsford. I have a request that you or your husband had sent in, and confirm date of birth, and like
Hmm.
a non-smoker." After I confirm that, it's rapport after that,
Yeah.
because your client's not, if Roger Short taught us this. Well, he said this at Ultimate Agent. I
Hmm.
always knew that trust was huge, but if your client don't trust you, they're not going to give you your social over
No.
the phone.
No.
So if you truly focus on the rapport, and then you're gonna. I don't get very many. Well, I don't know who you are. I'm not going to give you my social,
Hmm.
because I've already. This is how
I
I
never
look
got
at it.
that. I never got that.
If you focus on the rapport and making a friend, now you're just helping your new friends find solutions to their problems.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
all it is.
As we wrap up here, I'm interested in what tools you love. Like, what CRM are you using? What dialer are you using that's helping you accomplish? What are you using on your back end?
Cell phone. I don't do automated, and this is no shade, if that's what
Shine, girl. Go ahead and shine, because
if
that
that's
you
what
need to shine right here. Because if you're doing all of that, look, this chick said this, and she's crushing
this
it.
heavy thing. Well, that's what I was going to say is, a lot of people have brought up even at 8%. And like I said, this is no shade to Michael. I love him dearly. Um, uh, like, that's crazy. You beat someone that was doing automation. And I'm like, hey, it's dial, dial, dial. Most people think this thing is 1,000 pounds,
Yeah,
most
yeah.
new agents. And really, it goes back, like I said, focusing on the activity. The more you do,
Hmm.
the more you get better. And so tools, just a
My
cell
my
phone.
best friend,
Um,
it's like my best friend is the same way. He's a media personality and he uses minimal stuff. I mean, if I showed you what was on my desk in front of me, you'd be like, what the heck is that? You know, and he's always saying, yeah, but I make more money than you. It's like, doing it this way. But tools can hinder. And a lot of times people will think tools will make them better, but it's your skills that are going to make you better at what it
Amen.
is that you do. And you're proving that every single day with what it is that you do. Because I know my business, 90% of it I can run right here. It
Yep.
literally 90% of it I can run right here. If I wanted to go live with this, I could go live. But I
Yep.
choose to use all this fancy equipment. That's a whole nother story.
Exactly.
Uh, it's just to get the job done. But knowing that you so recently lost your son and then lost your dad after that, and I know you mentioned they're looking down on you and seeing everything it is that you do, and you mentioned them a lot in the show as being a driving force, as well as you have another son, right?
No, I have two daughters,
Two daughters.
Lauren
Okay.
and Lindsay. Yeah, and then Drew is my. I'm about to in November have a son-in-law. My daughter's getting married.
Oh my gosh.
And what's crazy, Earl, not to take too much time, but
No, go ahead.
it's funny. It's crazy what can happen in my father passed away. Let's see, March of 2018.
Mm,
Less than 4 months later, my daughter was meeting her now fiance,
wow.
and he happens to share the same name as my son in heaven.
Oh wow.
in my opinion, he was sent to us from heaven in a way, because he's such a good guy. Great guy.
Man,
They've been together about 4 years now, and he's part of the family. Well, he's been part of the family for
when are all
years.
these
So
folks getting licensed?
yeah, well, actually, both of that. My oldest daughter just is starting the course. My younger daughter, I'm starting to have her help me with some admin stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but my husband, obviously, he's part of it. One of my biggest accomplishments from this business
Hmm.
is I was able to move my mom to beautiful Clemson, South Carolina,
Wow.
July 18th.
Okay.
So, just being able to help support her and get her here out of Indiana, or where
Hmm.
she was. They were doing the RV life, and
Oh, wow.
it's yeah. So I wanted her to be here with us. So I
Of
love that
course.
she's here, and she's helping with my business too.
How do people get on Team Lunsford? Like, what are you looking for? What's your ideal type of person to bring onto your team? And how can they get in touch with you in order to do that?
Someone that's hungry and humble.
Okay.
um,
It knows how to use
really,
their smartphone, right?
yeah, yeah, knows how to pick this thing up. Yes, for sure. Like my TikTok and my Instagrams are at Amanda Insurance, and
They
Amanda
can just
Lunsford
DM
on
you,
face.
right?
Yeah,
And it's
Facebook,
spelled just like what's on the screen right here.
just like on the
Yeah.
screen,
Okay.
and really just people that are open to learn.
Hmm.
You've got to remember that, like I said, March, it took me about 5 months before I caught the belief in myself.
Hmm.
And don't give up. That's why there's an 8% conference, because 92% of people give up. And I'm
Yeah.
so thankful I didn't give up, because I truly, uh, when I get on the phone with someone that has reached out for recruiting purposes,
Hmm.
I close pretty much 100% of them. And I'll tell
Wow.
you why, Earl.
Tell
They
me.
can
Tell
hear
us.
they can hear my passion for my purpose through
Hmm.
the phone.
There it
And
is.
how can you say no to that, right? Because, and plus my agents, even Moon, we were saying this on our team call. Moon, that's one of my greatest things from the contest. Moon called me 2 weeks after the contest. She goes, girl, I can learn from you. I need your help. And she joined my team. I've had
Oh
two other
man, that's crazy.
contestants reach out to me. Yeah.
Man, oh man, so much has happened. So much is yet to happen because I know you. You're not going to stop. You're going to
No.
keep this thing going on. And are you going to? When are you able to upgrade your plan? Are you going to be upgrading?
No, Earl, I like to call it, I'm hashtagging it too. I have tunnel vision to integrity. There is no
Wow.
no joke about that. If you look at it like this, Earl, I could be in retirement before I'm 45.
Yeah.
I'm only 43 years old. If I keep full focus,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Get
work
that
hard,
integrity deal. Get that integrity
60
deal.
plus hours a week. So,
Yeah,
it's a lot of work, but you can get there.
man.
So, if you're partnered with the right people.
There it is. Because the people that are closest to you, those five closest, you
Amen.
got to make sure you keep that circle tight, and not anyone and everyone can get in. It's like, no, this is it, and we're going to the moon. And I'm sure that's what you're going to do with your team. What is your organization called again?
It is Family First Life Success. That was my logo
Hmm.
that I just designed it. It has waterfalls and mountains, because
Wow.
I like to say, a lot of people have asked me why my logo is designed, or where I came up with that design. I like to say that I was rebirthed in the
Mm.
mountains.
Mm.
I moved to Clemson 3 years ago in September to get away from the pain in Indiana,
Wow.
and Amanda 2.0 was
Okay,
born in the mountains. So
man.
watch
Oh
out.
man. Well, Amanda, I want to thank you so much just for being here with us today and telling us your story and all of your experiences between 8% and the Ultimate Agent and what you're doing right now, because it is utterly amazing. So thank you for your time. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I definitely appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
All right, and thank you watching this right now, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and get in contact with Amanda as well. If you're looking for a great team to be on, I'm sure she can get you on one if you got the right mental attitude and the tenacity to go through. All right. And, well, you know how to use your cell phone. All right. We'll see you on the next episode of the Rainmaker Podcast. My name is Earl Hall. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you on the next show.